Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Great job, Allison. I know with the delay, that's a tough one to do up here. She did a great job. How about a big round of applause for Allison Corder on the national anthem? Hampton Van Turen out of Cadiz. 57, Levon Spurgeon out of Cadiz. The 5R7, Reagan Hodge out of Cadiz. 608, Ellie Burns out of Louisville. J4, Owen Diloretto out of Cadiz, sponsored by Foley Tools. The 211 JR, Chase McAfee out of Cadiz. The 31, Reese Berminski out of Cadiz. And the 76X, that's Peyton Harris out of Cadiz. Hey guys, drivers, if you could bring your power wheels to the center of the track so everybody in the grandstands can see out there. We also ask that the parents of these young drivers help kind of keep them in boundaries out there. If they get hung up, maybe help out and get them unstuck from one another if need be. Like I said, this is the future of Demolition Derby. We're going to let them run around for about 10 minutes out there. Every single one of them is going to walk away with a trophy tonight. These young kids out there are going to have some fun learning about driving in the sport of Demolition Derby. I see the 456, that's Camden Van Kuren out of Cadiz in his yellow machine. The 57, Levon Spurgeon, the 5R7, Reagan Hodge. 608 is Ellie Burns. The J4 is Owen Diloretto. The 211 JR, that's Jace McAfee. 31, Reese Bermansky. And the 76X, that's Peyton Harris. Cheer these young drivers on, folks. Let them know you're watching. You sure do appreciate what they're doing out there. They're having fun. In the pits, all drivers in tonight's event. Immediately following the Power Wheels heat, we will have a drivers meeting at front of the car lineup. Mandatory drivers meeting following the Power Wheels at the front of the car lineup. Just in case any of you out there are wondering, we do run Power Wheels at every single Smash It event. Go to the website, smashitderby.com, see where we're going to be throughout the year. And if you have one of these Power Wheels sitting around the house and your kid wants to drive one, we do run Power Wheels at every single Smash It event, every single county fair. No, Tim, you can't use the Power Wheel, you're too big. Also, for you Power Wheels parents out there, Mid-Vid Racing Videos is recording the Power Wheels event. If you want to get a copy of that video, stop on up here sometime tonight. It's $10. They'll get your address, send you a video out in the mail. Have it at your house in just a couple days. Once again, running out there is the 76X. That's a Peyton Harris. 31, that's Reese Formansky. 211JR, that's Jace McAfee. The J4 is Owen Del 608 is Ellie Burns. The 5R7 is Reagan Hodge. The 57 is Levon Spurgeon. And 456 is Camden Van Kuren. Make some noise, cheer these young drivers on out there. Let them know you sure do appreciate all the efforts. They got those cars painted up real nice. Changed out the batteries, make them go a little bit faster and last a little bit longer. Just a couple more minutes for the kids out there on the Power Wheels. Okay, drivers, hold them up right there, drivers. How about a big round of applause for all those Power Wheel drivers out there, every single one of those kids going home with a trophy tonight. Once again, we do the Power Wheels at every single Smash It event. You got one of those Power Wheels sitting around. And the first vehicle coming out on the track, that is the number 30, Ricky McAfee out of Jewett. Followed by the 86M, Taylor Mazzoloni out of New Philly. They get 1 minute. Either fire back up and make contact or just whatever they're talking about. How about a big round of applause for those two guys out there trying to put on a show for you, even though they didn't have much competition, but they wanted to come out and have some fun. 326 at San Tony, not Lisbon. And the 3X, that's John Vermillion out of Texas. Once again, we will run these down to the last car running group and make the contact up to give them a little bit of leeway just because there is fuel. Track is set. The officials are set as he green flags in the air, ladies and gentlemen. How we start out with the countdown, starting with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is your car of the 2019 American Competition. Yes, it's Revolution 30. 3X, John Rebellion out of Cadiz. I think things were getting a little hot under the hood for John, and he didn't want to risk his motor. Sorry, that goes to the 326 of Sam Ciccone out of Lisbon. I'm going to go right down the list. 39X, Brian Sproul, Zach Monteleone out of Medina, 57, Corey Wood, out of Murraysville, 24 JR, that's Sean Doherty, out of St. Clairsville, 01, that's Ammon Quillen, out of Port Washington, 34, Tyler Dodd, out of Carrollton, 91, Zach Hendrick. And the 181 JR, that's Jay West Jr. Once again, the 39X, Brian Sproul, 66, Zach Monteleone. 57, Corey Wood. The 24 JR, that's Sean Doherty. The 01, Alan Quillen. 34, Tyler Dodd. T91, that's Zach Hendrick, the 181 JR, that's Jay West Jr. Should be 8 vehicles in the compact class. Compact class for 2019. That is, I just told that's Tyler Dodd, number 34. Tyler Dodd, T91, Zach Kendrick, and 57 of Corey Wood. Once again, we will run this down to the left on the running move and make contact. We got our last three cars running. T91, the 34, Tyler Dodd. And the 57, Corey Wood, still running. Fight for that first place out there. money tonight. Down to the last three. Looks like both vehicles having a hard time staying running out there. Both of them get them fired up. Broken that P91 machine, that's accidentally. Definitely got some steering issues going on out there. Making it a little difficult for him to get around, and that's the 57. Corey Wood trying to get for position. That T91 sounds like she's still got enough power, just having a few issues with the steering, getting around out there makes it a little bit difficult with this mud. But that car is actually a little bit water. Trying to make it to that first place position, just keeping an eye on the clock out there. Out of Laverty. 329, Brian Sprout. 22, Steve Shupp. 19F, Melvin Whitehead. I-69, Jeff Baldwin. 01, Alan Willen. go with the 10 we got. Things look like they got shuffled around a little bit. Couple colors missing. We'll go with these 10s. Track is ready. Officials are ready. Green flag through the air. Ladies and gentlemen, help me start out with the countdown. Starting with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Green flag drivers, green flag. Things are definitely getting hot under the hood for the I-69 Jeff Baldwin. Well, this is all fire. Things are definitely getting hot under there for him now. That's 22X, that's Corey Beard, he's a part of the drive. Going in to make some contact. He makes the final contact with the 35R machine. And that is Ryan Sears, he gets us fired up. And we got the 22 of Steve Schmidt on the clock at 9:59. Jeff Baldwin. Those vehicles are all on the clock into 22. That's Steve Schmidt, he gets the fire back up. Somewhere makes some contact on the 35R machine of Ryan Sears. Things are getting hot under the hood for all these automobiles out there. That's the 35R Ryan Sears making contact. And the 22 that's 40 years to get the fire back up to the one-wheel drive machine out there. Still got 3 cars out there running, moving, making contact. 22X. Corey Beard, the 22 Steve Shuck, and the 35R Ryan Shear. Looks like time has expired on the I-69 machine of Jeff Baldwin. We are down to the final 3 vehicles out there. That's the 22 Steve Shuck, 35R Ryan Shear, and the 22X of Corey Beard. How about that 22X out there? He's still got to run and moving. Along with the 22 of Steve Shuck. And time has expired on the 35R. That is Ryan Shear. He'll be taking home 3rd place tonight, down to the final 2 cars. The 22 machine of Steve Shuck and the 22X of Corey Beard. Corey's in that one well-wheel drive automobile out there. And the 22 gets the fire back up at Steve Shuck. Moving in to make some contact on that 22X machine. Looks like things are really heating up under the hood of the 22X. See if he can get her fired back up. Officials keeping an eye on time. Red flag. Time has expired on the 22X Corey Beard. Well, your winner tonight in your stock car heat is the 22 Steve Shuck. Taking on 2nd place, the 22X Corey Beard. 3rd place is the 35R Ryan Shear. 4th place is the I-69 of Jeff Baldwin. And 5th place is the 329 Briar Scott. Finally, something. The I-69 of Jeff Baldwin is one Mad Dog winner in that heat. They decided to go with two Mad Dogs in the stock car heat. The second Mad Dog goes to the 22X. Mad Dogs in the stock car heat, the I-69, Jeff Baldwin, and the 22X of Corey Beers. Guys, make sure you get your Mad Dog trophies up at the trailer. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out to the 2019 Harrison County Fair and Special Demolition Booth. Make sure you stop up at the Mid-Vid, visit the concession stands, and take advantage of the rides and everything the fair has to offer. Please drive safe, be careful, and have a good night. Followed by the 86M. Taylor Mazzaroni out of New Philly. And because there are only two of the trucks out there, we're going to give them a little bit of time just to come out, put on a show, make some good hits for you out there. Looks like the track is set. Officials are ready, ladies and gentlemen. Help me start with the countdown, starting with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go, Thomas. Let's go. Out of New Philly, and the number 32, out of Philly. If you turn on Ricky, it makes some noise out there. If you turn on Ricky, running, moving, making contact out there. Once it's running, we stall for a good hung up. They give 1 minute to fire the back up and make contact or whatever they're hung up on. The guy with the knot will fire the back up. I want to stand taking good legal hits. So if I want at a time, then we'll lose another competition. Obviously, we're going to try to give them a little bit of a breakout for tonight. Good hit for our bike, everybody. that 86 Anyway, dog, that's going to wrap things up for your truck. And your winner tonight is the number 30, Ricky McAfee, Auto to it. And second place going to the 86M, Taylor Mezzolini out of New Philly. How about a big round of applause for those two guys out there trying to put on a show for you, even though they didn't have much competition, but they wanted to come out and have some fun and put on a show for you guys in the stands. As soon as we get the trucks cleared off the track, we're going to start the kicker car heat. That's Sam Saccone out of Lisbon. And the 3X, that's John Vermillion out of Canada. Once again, we will run these down to the last car running, moving, making contact. I'm going to give them a little bit of leeway just because there is two of them. Track is set. The officials are set. I see green flags in the air. Ladies and gentlemen, help me start them out with a countdown, starting with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let them go, drivers. Let them go. That is your kicker car. Led up the 2019 American California Smash It Demolition Derby. Now bring in that dozer and see if we can get them split apart here. Let them go, drivers, let them go. that's going to do it for your lead car. First place goes to the 326, that's Sam Ciccone out of Lisbon. Second place goes to the 3X, John Vermillion out of Cadiz. I think things were getting a little hot under the hood for John, and he didn't want to risk his motor. So once again, first place in your kicker lead car, that goes to the 326 of Sam Ciccone out of Lisbon. I'm going to go right down the list. 39X, Brian Sproul out of Hopedale. 66, Zach Monteleone out of Adina. 57, Corey Wood out of Murricksville. 24, JR, that's Sean Doherty out of St. Clairsville. 01, that's Alan Quillen out of Port Washington. 34, Tyler Dodd out of Carrollton. 291, that's Zach Hendrick. And the 181 JR, that's Jay Webb Jr. Once again, the 39X, Brian Sproul. 66, Zach Manaleone. 57, Corey Wood. The 24 JR, that's Sean Doherty. The 01, Alan Quillen. 34, Tyler Dodd. T91, that's Zach Hendrick. And the 181 JR, that's Jay Webb Jr. 58 vehicles in the compact class. Looks like we're going to run with what we got. Track is set. Officials are ready. Green flags are in the air, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be starting out with the countdown. Starting with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Green flag drivers, let it go. And it's your compact class for 2019. There's the South road. We're running out there. The vehicle's still running. I got that's back in the road. The 24 JR. Still moving out there, back District. Looks like time has expired out of the back end of the yard out of the D9. Looks like we got 4 cars left there. Out there. No reptiles, but he's making good contact out there. He's still in it. That is, I should say, that's Tyler Dodd, the number 34. About 4 cars running, moving, making contact. 24 to JR, that's John Doherty. Out of St. Clairsville, 57, Corey Wood out of Birdsville. 94, Tyler Dodd out of Arrowville, number 291, West District. We're down to the last 3 cars running, moving, making contact out there. The 34, Tyler Dodd, 891, Zach District, and the 57 of Corey Wood. the last car running, moving, making contact. We got our last 3 cars running. 91, the 34, Tyler Dodd. And the 57, Corey Wood, still running. Fight for that first place out there. All 3 of these drivers fight for position, trying to get that first place. Take home that trophy and that money tonight. Down with the last 3. Looks like things are starting to get a little warm under the hood of that 34. Then Tyler Dodd. Still got the 91 back quickly. Running through the middle contact, fight for that first place. And the 57, Corey Wood. Contact out there between the 54, Tyler Dodd and the 291 attack quickly. Red flag, drivers, red flag, hold them up, red flag, drivers. Looks like we might have a fire under the hood of the 34 machine out there. That's Tyler Dodd. And the fire department making quick work of that fire underneath the hood of that 34 machine. That's Tyler Dodd. That's going to bring it into his night. He'll be taking home the 3rd place. Green flag. We do have 2 drivers out there fighting for that first place position. The 7 of Corey Wood and the T91 of Zach Hendrick. Looks like both vehicles having a hard time staying running out there. Both of them get them fired up. Solid. like the steering might be broken in that T91 machine. That's that Mid-Vid. Definitely got some steering issues going on out there. Making it a little difficult for him to get around, and that's the 57. Corey Wood trying to get into position. That T91 sounds like she's still got enough power, just having a few issues with the steering, getting around out there makes it a little bit difficult in this mud. Put that car exactly where they want it. Both these vehicles trying to make it to that first place position. Officials keeping an eye on the clock down there. And that 57 machine, that's Corey Wood, trying to nose the front end of that T91 up in the mud. See if we can get it plugged up in there. And that T91 machine, that's that Hendrick, got enough power to pull himself right out of it. Making contact with the 57 machine. Sounds like that 57 machine might have stalled out over there in the corner. That is the number 57 Corey Wood on the clock. Keeping a close eye on that red flag. Red flag trying to hold them up. That's General Wood for your compact heat. First place goes to the T91, Zach Hendrick. Second place goes to 57. That is Corey Wood. Third place tonight goes to the number 34, Tyler Dodd. And fourth place goes to 24, JR, John Robbie. Stock car drivers, I need you to your vehicle, get them fired up, ready to bring them on in. Stock car drivers. Looks like 7X, Brian Mansfield. Richard. Habig out of Lafferty. 329, Brian Strauss. 22, Steve Shupp. The 19X, Melvin Whitehead. I-69, Jeff Baldwin. The 01, Alan Quillen. I got 10 cars on the track. I got 12 cars on my sheet. We'll just go with the 10 we got. Things look like they got shuffled around a little bit. Couple cars missing. We'll run with these 10. Track is ready. Officials are ready. Green flags are in the air. Ladies and gentlemen, how they start them out with the countdown. Starting with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let them go. Green flag drivers, green flag. 35 all right. Coming in hot. Into the 01, time has expired on the 01, that nail is clearly. Wanted to get that off the track before it went through somebody's floor and injured the driver. Track is clear. Green flag green here. Let's go, drivers. Let's go. got a fire under the hood of the 7X. That's Brian Hansfield. Brian makes the escape from the car. The fire department moves in to get the fire put out. Looks like we might have a gas fire or possibly an oil fire the way it's running down. Is there an electric fuel pump on that car? Where's the driver of that car? Is there an electric fuel pump being shut off? Apparently there's a toggle switch in the car for the fuel pump that needs shut off. They got that fire put out. That's 7X for Brian Mansfield. Got the 329 out of the way. That's Briar Sprout. Back underway. Like we got cars still running with the contact. 22X. Storing gears. All still running. Moving, making contact out there, going for that. First place, first. Red flag, drivers, red flag, hold them up, drivers, red flag, red flag, drivers. Hold them up, drivers, hold them up, red flag, red flag. Hey! Red flag, drivers, red flag. I need sheriff deputy to announce this booth, please. Sheriff deputy to announce this booth. I need sheriff deputy to announce this booth. Sheriff department to announce this booth. Hey, it looks like we might have a little fire under the hood of the 329. Hey, green flag for flying. Drivers a little back on the hood. contact out there still in contention. They called that first place ride. 569 of Jeff Baldwin, 35R, Ryan Shear, and the 22X Corey here. Definitely get hot under the hood from line 69, Jeff Baldwin. Yeah, that's puts me on fire. Things are definitely getting hot under there for him, though. That 22X, that's Corey Beers. He's a four-wheel drive car out there with all them big cars. He's got it moving, going in to make some contact. He makes good solid contact with that 35R machine. And that is Ryan Shear. He gets us fired up. And we got the 22 Steve Shook on the clock in the I-69 of Jeff Baldwin. Both those vehicles are on the clock in the 22. That's Steve Shook. We get the fire back up. Jumps in to make the contact on the 35R machine of Ryan Shear. Things are getting hot under the hood for all these automobiles out there. That's the 35R Ryan Shear making contact. And the 22X, that's Corey Beers. He gets the fire back up there. Lone front-wheel drive machine out there. We still got three cars out there running through and making contact. 22X, Corey Beers, the 22 Steve Shook, and the 35R Ryan Shear. Looks like time has expired on the I-69 machine of Jeff Baldwin. We are down to the final three vehicles out there. That's the 22 Steve Shook, 35R Ryan Shear, and the 22X of Corey Beers. How about that 22X out there, that little front-wheel drive machine playing with this big car? He's still got it running and moving. Along with the 22 of Steve Shook. And time has expired on the 35R. That is Ryan Shear. He'll be taking home third place tonight down to the final two cars. The 22 machine of Steve Shook and the 22X of Corey Beers. Corey's in that one row. Front-wheel drive automobile out there. And the 22 gets their fire back off that Steve Shook. Moving in to make some contact on that 22X machine. Looks like things are really heating up under the hood of the 22X. See if we can get our tire back up. Officials keeping an eye on the tire. Red flag, drivers, red flag. Time has expired on the 22X Corey Beer. Well, your winner tonight in your stock car heat is 22 Steve Shuck, taking home second place to 22X Corey Beer. Third place is the 35R of Ryan Shears. Fourth place is the I-69 of Jeff Baldwin. And fifth place is the 329 Briar Sprouse. And I'm waiting to be told who the Mad Dog is as soon as Tim does. I think you people are going to like this. Finally something. The I-69 of Jeff Baldwin is one Mad Dog winner in that heat. They decided to go with two Mad Dogs in the stock car heat. The second Mad Dog goes to the 22X of Corey Beers. The lone mini car in the big car heat. Well, two Mad Dogs in the stock car heat, the I-69 Jeff Baldwin and the 22X of Corey Beers. Guys, make sure you get your Mad Dog trophies up at the trailer. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out to the 2019 Harrison County Fair in the Smash and Demolition Derby. Make sure you stop up at the Midway, visit the concession stands, and take advantage of the rides and everything the fair has to offer. Please drive safe, be careful, and have a good night.